Hey there, folks. Santee at the Arizona Ghostwriters here. A historical review of 1883. The show, not the year, which takes place in that year, 1883. So, I probably should have thought this introduction out a little bit better. 1883 is the story of the beginnings of the Dutton Ranch Empire from the modern western Yellowstone. It follows the Dutton family as they move by covered wagon from Tennessee to Montana. It's definitely gritty, and thanks to Taylor Sheridan's vision, really gives us a feel for the difficulty of traveling west. Illness, river crossings, danger from both animal and human. Yeah, we get it all. Let me say first that I love this series. I find it very entertaining and well acted. The critiques I've laid out are from a historical perspective, given this takes place in our favorite era.
Shotgun to the back.
Right off the bat, we are introduced to our narrator, Elsa Dutton, and Pinkerton detectives Shea Brennan and Thomas. They have an office in Hell's Half Acre, the roughest part of Fort Worth, Texas. Historically, there was no branch of the famous detective agency in Fort Worth at the time, but I guess it helps validate the two characters. Inside the office, there happens to be a bunch of immigrants waiting for the two law dogs to take them to Oregon. So now they are Pinkertons and wagon bosses. They need help on that wagon train, and recruited the fast and accurate shooting John Dutton, who is also traveling west with his family. Hollywood period movies are often criticized for their firearms, but the show so far does pretty well. At one point, Dutton protects his life with an 1885 Winchester high-wall rifle, in 1883. However, I would rather they make a Western and goof on a firearm than not make a Western at all. Going into the episodes, we see more character development and meet the first historic persona, long-haired Jim Courtright, played by Billy Bob Thornton. Marshal Courtright and the leaders in our traveling crew systematically give lead poisoning to an entire band of evildoers inside a saloon. The marshal was clearly going there with the plan to execute them, so having a premeditated shootout in a busy saloon with innocent people seemed haphazard to me. One of them was even unarmed, but that's frontier justice for you. John Dutton finds smallpox among the immigrants, and the infected ones are sent off to die. By 1883, smallpox was treatable and not always a death sentence, as proven in 1876 Deadwood. Heck, Edward Jenner developed a vaccine in 1796, and millions were vaccinated after that.
You put the lime in the coconut, you drag them both up.
Incidentally, Germany had mandatory smallpox vaccinations since 1874, and these immigrants were from there. Sam Elliott's character makes them sell the oxen for horses, which wasn't the best move. Oxen would have been hardier for the long drive. However, he could have traded them for mules, which would have been a better choice than horses to pull wagons. They're less prone to injury due to their bone density, and not as picky about their diet. And they're more sure-footed.
That's right, fool. Now I'm a flying talking donkey.
Costuming is pretty good so far, especially in the sequences in Fort Worth, where they employed local Western reenactors who know their stuff. My friend James Madewell said, "They let us wear our own outfits, but furnished plastic firearms that looked pretty realistic." One cowboy wears makeshift roping cuffs. We don't typically see these prior to the 1890s, but these were made with scraps of leather and not store-bought. Thomas the Pinkerton wears elements of a soldier's uniform from his military days and a bandolier across his chest. Not sure why the soldier outfit was a choice, since Thomas made a conscious decision to leave the army. I should mention that by 1883 there were trains that took you north and west from that part of Texas, so you didn't need to make the journey with wagons. The immigrants mentioned they were short on cash, but traveling by train would have been cheaper, quicker, and safer. They ended up leaving their belongings behind anyway, which is what Sam Elliott told them would happen. But if it were that easy, then we wouldn't have this wonderful series. Of course, I don't have the eagle eye some of you do, so I'm sure I missed some things. At the time of this upload, there are 5 episodes, so clearly we haven't experienced it all yet. It will be interesting to see what they have in store for the Duttons on their route to Montana. Hey folks, that's it for another episode. I wanted to remind you all about our Patreon channel. You can go there and get exclusive content for only about $3 a month. Pretty cool. As always, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on down the trail.
Me? What? Son of a...
Well, this is gonna make a bleep of hell sometime.
But